الحمد لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدًا عبده ورسوله عليه الصلاة والسلام وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد, in this evening we would like inshallah to remind ourselves and those who are present with this great topic, a topic which will help build the society from the smallest of this society in the home to the next unit, to the next and to the next, until the society inshallah is rectified. And that is how to build a happy home. No doubt, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands us and He orders us to save ourselves and our families from a fire whose fuel is men and stone. Allah says, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِكُمْ نَارًا. Save yourselves and your families. وَقُودُوهَا النَّاسُ وَالْحِجَارَةِ. Save yourselves and your families from a hellfire, from a fire whose fuel is men and stone. عَلَيْهَا مَلَائِكَةٌ غِلَاظٌ شِدَادٌ. Upon that fire are angels, mighty and stern. لَا يَعْصُونَ اللَّهَ مَا أَمَرَهُمْ وَيَفْعَلُونَ مَا يُؤْمَرُونَ. They do not go against what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands them. They do not disobey Allah in what He commands them. And they fulfill that which they are ordered to do. This verse, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. First of all, it is preceded with يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. And Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, he said every time we hear the verse يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, we will listen more carefully, or we would listen carefully. Why? Because either we are going to be ordered with something good or forbidden from something evil. So يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا, the Sahaba radiallahu anhum would listen what is coming next. In this case, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِيكُمْ نَارًا. Save yourself and your families from a fire whose fuel is men and stone. Happiness, no doubt. Everybody's looking for it. But happiness is in going back to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called us to. Because He is the one who has control of our hearts. Meaning, He is the one that can change our heart, can guide that heart, or can misguide that heart based upon a perversion, a deviation initially from yourself. You chose to deviate, or you chose the guidance. You have a choice. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a will as well. وَمَا تَشَاءُونَ إِلَّا أَن يَشَاءَ اللَّهُ. So Allah Azza wa Jal, as the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, قُلُوبُ الْعِبَادِ بَيْنَ أُصْبُعَيْنِ مِنْ أَصَابِعِ الرَّحْمَنِ يُقَلِّبُهَا كَيْفَ يَشَاءُ. The hearts of the servants are between the two fingers of Ar-Rahman. He changes it how He wills. Allah knows what is in our hearts. Allah knows if our hearts are rectified or whether they are lazy hearts. Allah knows whether our hearts are sincere or insincere. Allah knows if we love Him the most and love Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anyone. Allah knows if we are turning away from His commandments. Allah knows if we are striving to come closer to Him. Allah knows if we truly seek happiness or not. Allah knows. Because the one who's sincere, Shaykh Rabi Hafidullah said one time, if you are truly sincere to Allah, and you, while in your prostration, you ask Allah for guidance, no doubt Allah will guide you. Allahu Akbar. Sincerity goes a long way. That heart and its actions goes a long way. From love, from hope, from desire, from fear, from awe. That heart is a small piece of flesh, but it goes a long way. As the Messenger ﷺ said, وَإِنَّ فِي الْجَسَدِ مُضْغَةً إِذَا صَلَحَتْ صَلَحَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ وَإِذَا فَسَدَتْ فَسَدَ الْجَسَدُ كُلُّهُ أَلَا وَهِيَ الْقَلْبُ. Indeed, there is a piece of flesh in the body. If it is sound, the whole body is sound. If it is corrupt, the whole body is corrupt. Indeed, it is the heart. That's where it all starts. So do we really want happiness? That's the first question. Because we want a happy home. We all are interested in a happy home, a happy life, and how miserable it is. You come home and it's sad, and the situation is despicable. The situation is just war and battle. How despicable that is. Compared to, and contrast that with a home that you go to and there's happiness. When you look at your family, your spouse, you're happy. When you look at your children, you're happy. What is true happiness? True happiness, with regards to your family, is that you come home and they are upon the dhikr of Allah Azza wa Jal. You come home and they are upon the sharia of Allah. That is true happiness, no doubt. Because that will bring about khair for you in this life and in the hereafter. They are helping you get to Jannah. A despicable home or sad home, and a home that is miserable and dark and constricted, is a home without the dhikr of Allah, without the remembrance of Allah, without reminding each other to get to Jannah. That home of fire and brimstone, of fighting and argumentation, such as in the end divorce may occur, homes are broken, children left as orphans, broken homes, children without a father or children without a mother, broken homes. Because of what? Because of that which was left, which was first and foremost, that was important, the dhikr of Allah. A home that is upon the remembrance of Allah. Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu qu anfusakum wa ahlikum nara. Save yourselves and your families from a fire whose fuel is men and stone. The Surah Al-Tahrim, verse 6. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu. Ali ibn Abi Talib radiyallahu anhu said, it means discipline them and teach them. Yes, we all need discipline, and Islam is what makes us. We don't make Islam, Islam makes us. Islam, if we follow it properly, it will change us into a good role model. The Rasul ﷺ was the best of the role models, and he was best to his family. خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ وَأَنَا خَيْرُكُمْ لِأَهْلِهِ. The best of you are those who are best to their families, and I am the best to my family. And the Rasul ﷺ, in his example, how gentle he was in the household, how gentle he was and how kind and how merciful he was, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And at the same time, he was firm to make sure that there was discipline, that there was some education. The Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it wasn't just his family, his immediate family members, but even his cousins and young around him. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, his cousin, he made him ride behind him on the way to Hajj. And then he didn't leave his other brother out, Fadl ibn Abbas. He also said, give him a turn, and he gave him a turn as well. And the hadith of Hajj, you have Abdullah ibn Abbas and you have Fadl ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. And also other companions, young companions. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from his family members, he took care of them. He took care of them. Even those who were not immediate family members, but they lived with him. Anas bin Malik, who lived with him, radiallahu anhu, for 10 years. Anas bin Malik, radiallahu anhu. His mother, Sulaym, look how intelligent his mother was, Sulaym, radiallahu anha. She said, "O Messenger of Allah, my son, he's 10 years old. I want him for you, O Messenger of Allah, for him to serve you. He would prepare the wudu, the water that is prepared to perform the ablution." Anas bin Malik would prepare that for the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was so intelligent, Sulaym radiallahu anha, that she gave her son to the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam to learn under him, and he became from those Sahaba who narrated the most hadith. Amongst those companions who narrated the most hadith, Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu. He became from those Sahaba that the Prophet supplicated for specifically. The Messenger supplicated to Allah to give him rizq, and also to give him much khair of children and so on. And give him good life, long life. And that's what happened. He lived until past 90 years old. Anas bin Malik radhiyallahu anhu, with many children, grandchildren, and much rizq. MashaAllah, tabarakallah. Good in this life and good in the hereafter. Khair wa barakah comes by going back to Allah and His Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Discipline them, Ali ibn Abi Talib radhiyallahu anhu said, discipline them and teach them. And teach them. Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhuma said about that verse, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِكُمْ نَارًا. Stay obedient to Allah. First yourself. You have to be an example first. No good telling others to do something, you don't do it yourself. لِمَا تَقُولُونَ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ كَبُرَ مَقْتًا عِنْدَ اللَّهِ تَقُولُ مَا لَا تَفْعَلُونَ. Why do you say that which you don't do? It is great in the sight of Allah that you say that which you don't do. So start with yourself first and foremost. Yes, we need to be examples for our children. Don't teach them to lie. Some family members, they say to their children, if somebody calls the home, they say, don't tell him I'm here. Then you're teaching your son to lie then. You're teaching your daughter to lie. Don't tell them I'm here. And you know you're there. They know you're there. But Abi, but don't worry, just don't tell them I'm here. You're starting to teach them to lie. And lying is one of the most evil of actions. It's a major sin. And the Messenger ﷺ said, إِيَّاكُمْ وَالْكَذِبِ. Be warned of lying. فَإِنَّ الْكَذِبِ يَهْدِي إِلَى الْفُجُورِ وَإِنَّ الْفُجُورِ يَهْدِي إِلَى النَّارِ. Be wary of lying, because lying leads to evil deeds, and evil deeds leads to the hellfire. So it all starts from what? From lying. So teaching children to be honest and truthful by you being honest and truthful. So stay obedient to Allah. You in your household, the children will see you if you go out to the prayer or not. Yes, they will see whether you go to the salah or not. And you know what? They will remind you if they hear the adhan or it comes close to the prayer time, Abi, shouldn't you be going to the masjid? They will remind you, because now you've got them on that routine of knowing the prayer times. Getting them up for the prayer, for Fajr. Yes, you'd be surprised. Children, for those who don't have them, not all of them are the same. Some of them, mashallah, they get up. Some of them are hard to get up. Like a stone. And for them, you need get them to go to sleep early. Get them to have an alarm. Be responsible. Get them to be responsible. Whether it is them having their own alarm clock. Now they feel that, yes, I have to put my own. I can't rely on somebody else. Yes, because you are the one you're going to be questioned in front of Allah. The first question you'll be asked is about your salah. If it is in need, if it is deficient, then the sunnah prayers will be looked into. And the rest of the actions. But first and foremost is your salah. As-salah, as-salah, ma malakat aymanukum, as the Messenger said before he passed away. The prayer, and those under your responsibility. Umar ibn Khattab radhiyallahu anhu, before he passed away, he said, La khayra fil Islam liman taraka as-salah. There's no good for a person's Islam if he leaves the prayer. So guarding the prayers, حافظوا على الصلوات والصلاة الوسطى وقوموا لله قانتين. Guarding the prayers, showing your children education. Inshallah, this will come. Obedience to Allah in all forms. Teaching them at a young age to fast. Children, teaching them to fast at a young age, occupying them with games and toys. Shaykh Muhammad al-Banna rahimahullah, he said his own father, he used to make sure that he has so many games in the house. Why? So that his son doesn't go out in the streets and do bad things. So he used to occupy his children in the house. So even if it means getting them something to play with in the house, to not let them go out in the streets with the bad people. This is an example, Shaykh Muhammad al-Banna rahimahullah. Shaykh Ubaid al-Jabiri, his own household. He has, mashallah, Allahumma barik, na'am, his extended family, his children, even those that are married, he wants to keep them together in one household. Why? To keep that family structure together. The family unit together. Keeping the ties of kinship. Because one goes this way, one goes that way, one goes down. Shaitan can attack them. Shaitan can misguide them. But when they are with you always or close by you, then you are able to advise them. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, stay obedient to Allah and stay away from disobeying Allah. Don't teach your children to disobey Allah by you disobeying Allah. Oh, prayer time has got 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes. This is what the Shia do. The Rafidah, this is what they do. They delay the Maghrib prayer until the stars come out. Because they consider the prayers to be only 3, not 5. So they delay prayers. Stay away from disobeying Allah. And from that is music, listening to music. Educate the children to keep away from that which Allah prohibits and that which Allah abhors. You cannot have music and Quran together. One is from Allah, the other one is from shaitan. Mizmaru shaitan, as Allah mentioned in Surah Al-Najm, the last verses of Najm. أَفَمِنْ هَذَا الْحَدِيثِ تَعْجَبُونَ وَتَضْحَكُونَ وَلَا تَبْكُونَ وَأَنْتُمْ سَامِدُونَ فَاسْجُدُوا لِلَّهِ وَاعْبُدُوهُ. This is referring to what? Music. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu said, Wallahi, the word samada wa antum samidun, by Allah it refers to music. By Allah it refers to music. By Allah it refers to music. Are we going to take Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu's explanation? Or someone who comes nowadays like Qardawi says, no problem. Al-halal al-halal fil Islam. He has a book called Halal Haram, but the scholars say it's halal haram. What is haram in that book? So many things it says halal. Stay away from disobeying Allah in all forms, lying, cheating, deception. Command your families, he said, to remember Allah. Allah. Command your families to remember Allah. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, command your families to remember Allah. That first remembrance of Allah is what? Salah. Getting them up in the morning. Teaching them the adhkar. Ayat al-kursi ya Abdullah. Wa ya amat Allah. Ayat al-kursi. Teach your children, wallahi, they can learn as young as 2 years old. They can recite it if you teach them. 2 years old. We've seen it with our own eyes. 2 years old. Because you are regularly reciting it just before you sleep with your children. Then 2 years old, they're reciting Ayatul Kursi. It's protection. The greatest verse in the Quran. Because all of it is Tawheed. From the beginning to the end. It starts with what? Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum. And it ends with Allah's beautiful names. Wa huwa al-aliyyul azim. And He is al-Ali, the most high. And He's azim, the exalted. Starts with Allah, ends with Allah. And all of it is about Allah, the greatest. So teaching them this great verse, which the Messenger ﷺ said, whoever recites it after every prayer, there is nothing between him and paradise except death. Allahu Akbar. After every salah. And before one sleeps, Allah, if you recite Ayatul Kursi, as we should teach our children to do, right until the morning, Allah will send an angel to protect you. And angels are stronger than the jinn. Teach them that. Some of them, they get afraid. Shaitan. Teach them. Shaitan is nothing. When you say, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, like a fly, brushing him off. Na'am. As one of the scholars mentioned, you have been given so many weapons against the shaitan. Shaitan is nothing in front of the believer. Na'am. That's why we should make shaitan toil. Just like an animal. Cultivating the soil that's difficult to cultivate. Make the devil toil in hardship, in difficulty, with the dhikr of Allah. Naam. With the dhikr of Allah. You make the devil toil. When you leave your house, you say, Bismillah tawakkaltu ala Allah, wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. He says, how can I follow you? He's always remembering Allah. How can I follow you? You enter your house, you teach your children, say Bismillah. He doesn't have a place to stay. When you eat, you teach your children. How many children eat with their left hand? A'udhu billah. Wallahi. I'm shocked. Muslim children. Where are we? Muslim children eat with their left hand. The Prophet said, don't eat with your left hand, for shaitan eats with the left. And one of the scholars mentioned, every time you resemble the devil, you will act like the devil. in other affairs. So, if you resemble the devil in eating, if you resemble the devil in your clothes, if you resemble the devil in the way you, in the way you look, eventually you'll be like shaitan in other affairs. That's why the Prophet ﷺ himself said, "Man tashabbaha biqawmin fahuwa minhum." Whoever resembles a people is of them. You resemble the devil, you're of them. You become like them. Nasallahu salama. So this is the hikmah, the wisdom of why we don't eat with our left hand, why we don't do things like the devil does. Because we don't want to resemble him. Otherwise we'll be like him in other affairs. May Allah protect us. So the dhikr of Allah in your household, teaching the children as they wake up, Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'dama amatana wa ilayhi an-nushur. Teaching the children to be responsible in their studies. Shaykh Muhammad al-Banna rahimahullah used to say, look, mashallah, we spend all night studies making sure they get the grades. Just before the exams, we are worried. We want the children to pass the exams. But what about the salah? Do we have the same effect on the salah? Do we have the same effect with regards to the deen of Allah? Or are we neglectful regards educating our children? Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu continues, and command your families to remember Allah. Yes, maybe your wife or maybe the husband hasn't read Quran today. There should be a reminder from each other. Did you read Quran? One page at least? Of course, if you do a whole juz, mashallah, Allahumma barik. But as some of the companions, they said, I'd hate a day to pass by without even looking at a page of the Quran. Without even looking at a page of the Quran. So reminding each other, of course, this dunya is busy. And shaitan is occupying us. But remember the greater goal, why we are here. Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhu said, if you do that, he will save you from the fire. Allah will save you from the fire. Mujahid, the student of Ibn Abbas radhiyallahu anhuma, he said, this verse, قُوا أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَهْلِكُمْ نَارًا, it means fear Allah and obey Him. Practicing taqwa. And tell your families to practice taqwa. Tell your families to practice taqwa. So the household should be a household of taqwa. How's a household of taqwa? And they are busy watching Indian movies or Arab movies. How's a household of taqwa? Wasting time, 3-4 hours. Household of taqwa in Ramadan, they put this series at iftar time. Neither she read Quran, neither you busy yourself with also Taraweeh. You get lazy, you eat, that's it, day is gone. I'm surprised, you get a whole month, 30 days of Ramadan, some people didn't even pray one night of Taraweeh. May Allah protect us. Taqwa is not just an easy word. Taqwa is making a barrier between you and the haram. And worshipping Allah upon a light from Allah, seeking His reward. Qatada rahimahullah said, a person protects his family by telling them to obey Allah and forbidding them from disobeying Him. He upholds Allah's commands and helps his family to uphold them. So if you see some disobedience of Allah, you stop them from doing it. And you mention them, reprimand them, or tell them that this is wrong. Now, after the death of his wife, Salih, Imam Ahmad rahimahullah used to praise her, and he once said about her, in the 30 years she was with me, we never had a single word of disagreement. We never had a single word of disagreement. Why? Because the household was based upon ad-dinu nasiha, advice. No one's perfect. Marriage is up and down. Difficulties occur. But look at the great Imams, the like of Imam Ahmad rahimahullah, in 30 years, not even one word of disagreement. So first and foremost, taqwa. And the one who really loses is the one who loses himself and his family in Yawm al-Qiyamah. قُلْ إِنَّ الْخَاسِرِينَ الَّذِينَ خَسِرُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ ذَلِكَ هُوَ الْخُسْرَانُ الْمُبِينُ. That is the great loss. Why? Because he didn't take the steps to build a happy home. Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen rahimahullah, he said about this verse, وَإِنَّنَا لَنَعْجَبْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْجَبُونَ مَعَنَا أَنْ يَضِلَّ أَقْوَامٌ فَيَعْتَنُونَ بِتَنْمِيَةِ أَمْوَالِهِمْ وَرِعَايَتِهَا وَصِيَانَتِهَا وَحِفْظِهَا وَاشْتِغَالِ أَفْكَارِهِمْ وأبدانهم وانشغال بأموالهم عن راحتهم ومنامهم ومع ذلك ينسون أهلهم وأولادهم. They are busy, he said. And how surprised we are to see people are busy gathering wealth, trying to make it. Have one house, want two houses. Or have this one, want this, want that. Just want more, more, more. But forgetting what is the main call. And forgetting what is the objective. Leaving, he said, we are surprised that we find them forgetting their families and children. وَإِنِّي لَسَائِلُهُمْ. And he says, I asked them, مَا قِيمَةْ هَذِهِ الْأَمْوَالِ. What is the benefit of this wealth? What is the worth of this wealth that you are gathering? بِنِسْبَةِ لِلْأَهْلِ وَالْأَوْلَادِ. Compared to your family, your wife and your children. Who's more important? Your wife and children or the wealth? Who's more important? You can't give a value to your wife and children for what Allah has blessed you with. أليس من الأجدر بهؤلاء يخصص شيئا من قواهم الفكرية والجسمية لتربية أهليهم وأولادهم. Shouldn't they use some of their effort and their time in order to educate their children and families? Salamatullah. Number one, from the benefits of making a happy home, or from the reasons of making a happy home, number one, عليك أن تحسن اختيار الزوجة. First of all, choose the right wife. Don't choose a dunya woman, always in the shops. Come, let's go. Always wasting you. Don't choose that. And the woman as well, don't choose a dunya man. Always forgetting his salah, forgetting his ibadah. Choose somebody who is going to guard you and protect you. As the Messenger ﷺ, he mentioned, hadith of Abi Hurairah radiallahu anhu, تنكح المرأة لأربع لمالها ولحسبها ولجمالها ولدينها فاظفر بذات الدين تربت يداك. The woman is married for four: for her wealth, for her status, for her beauty, and for her deen. So choose the one who has the deen, who has the akhlaq, the good manners, and also the fathers. And we all have children, and we all have daughters, inshallah. And those who don't, then Allah bless you with daughters. But the responsibility, somebody comes for their hand in marriage for your daughter. You have to see them. You have to know who they are. What is their akhlaq? Inquire about them. Regarding their what? Their deen and their akhlaq. من جاءكم من ترضون دينه وخلقه. Whoever comes to you. So he has to come to you. Shaykh Ubayd Hafidhullah said about this hadith, he has to come then. Not on the internet. Now, mashallah, quick. Get married on the internet. Who's the wali? Well, nobody knows. Whoever comes to you. Why is it that they should come to you? Because the woman on her own, she's in need of a guardian to protect and aid her. And you are the guardian, the father or the brother or the uncle. You are her guardian and you protect and her protector. Na'am. And so they come to you. And you are pleased with their deen and their khuluq and their manners. Because that's what's going to stay and remain. Not the dunya. You are pleased, first and foremost, deen and what about if they're not working or they are working? Is that important? Shaykh Salih Fawzan said it's important. Why? Because it's mentioned in the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jal mentioned about the daughters, the two daughters, who asked their father regarding Musa alayhi salam that allow him to work with us. Allow him to work with us on cultivating the land. And when the father saw Musa alayhi salam's effort, striving, working, what was said? إِنَّ خَيْرَ مَنِ اسْتَأْجَرْتَ الْقَوِيُّ الْأَمِينَ. Shaykh Salih Fawzan said about this verse, إِنَّ خَيْرَ مَنِ اسْتَأْجَرْتَ, the best one that you can hire is one who is strong and who's truthful. So therefore, this was a reason for him to marry the daughter, is that he is qawi and amin. So therefore, Shaykh Salih Fawzan said, this is also another characteristic that you look with regards to the person that you're going to marry. Is he qawiyul amin, or is he a person who just sits around, does nothing? Is he a person that strives and sweats, he's out and about trying to earn a living and feed his family? Or is he just somebody who sits around? Qawiyul amin. Inna khayra man istajarta al-qawiyul amin. So therefore, number one, choosing the right person. And here, as a nice benefit here, the Prophet ﷺ said regarding the person that the one who has much blessing and benefit is the one who has a good tongue, who remembers Allah much, who has a heart that is grateful, and he has a believing wife who aids him upon his iman. وَزَوْجَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ تُعِينُهُ عَلَى إِيمَانِهِ. And that is hadith which is in Muslim Imam Ahmad, with Tirmidhi and Ibn Majah, and Shaykh Albani rahimahullah said it's sahih in Sahih al-Jami'. So therefore, choosing the right spouse. Al-Wadud al-Walud. The Prophet ﷺ mentioned about the woman that you choose. Al-Wadud, the loving woman. And Al-Walud, the one who are fertile to give birth to children. Al-Wadud al-Walud. Wadud, loving. Because you want a happy home. You don't want a home where both parties are miserable, long-faced, nothing to do. Like one brother said to me, I just got married but I don't love my wife. SubhanAllah. I said, did you give her a gift? He said, no. I said, give her a gift, ya rajul. Qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, tahadu tahabu. Give gifts. Bring about love between yourselves. You can't even do that for your wife? Bring gifts. Surprise her with a gift and she will do the same, inshallah. That will bring about love between you. What are you doing then to bring about that love? What are you doing to bring about that care and mercy and kindness and a happy home? What are you doing? Not just about take, it's about give as well. And give more than you take. Number two, if you don't have a good wife, because it's possible that you're already married and you're listening already now, it's already happened. Okay, qadar Allah ma sha fa'al. Then you try your best now to help the situation improve. By starting to educate. By you starting yourself first. By benefiting yourself, helping yourself to turn back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then striving, tas'a li raf'i imaniha. Strive to raise her iman. And one way you can do it is slowly make the house a house of the dhikr of Allah. Such that you listen to Quran regularly. We don't have to listen to just chat shows and all this, kalam fadi. Listen to Quran regularly. Because wallahi, we listen to Quran regularly, reminded of that, the children, they start getting used to it. In the household. And I saw that in Shaykh Rabi Hafidh's house. Quran. In the morning, in the afternoon, in the Quran. Just played for the house. For his children. And for other members of the family. Just to listen to Quran. Regularly. So how is that? Is that a household that we are upon? Of listening to Quran in the house or not? Number three, the husband, when he strives, الرجال قوامون على النساء. Men, they have been given that strength over women in the sense of that daraja, that level, whereby they go out and feed their family. They work and that in order to feed their family and give them shelter and give them clothing with that which they, the same level that they buy for themselves, the same food that they eat for themselves, the same as what they have for themselves, they give for their family or even give them better. So therefore, when the wife sees that and you are striving to give her her haqq, then she will strive to give you your haqq, your rights. وَأَعْطِ كُلَّ ذِي حَقٍّ حَقَّهُ, and give everyone their rights. Number 4, أن تجعل البيت مكانا لذكر الله. You make the house, a place for the dhikr of Allah. Don't make it like the graveyard, dead, no Quran, no sunnah prayers. Subhanallah. Even if your children come next to you and they're not even wearing anything, you know, a 2-year-old kid walks around, sometimes they're not wearing, they take off their nappies or whatever, they're not wearing anything, and they're praying next to you. Don't worry, don't push them away. They are learning. The Prophet ﷺ, while he was praying, Hassan and Hussein, they came on his back. He didn't get up from prostration until they got up. Let them play. Let them come around you and be with you. Because they are just like the cats that are going, tawafuna alaykum. They're just passing by around you. Young, they're innocent. They don't know any better. But you know, they are learning what you're doing. When you're prostrating your sunnahs in your house, and you're doing your bowing in your house, they come and you'll see them saying, Allahu Akbar. And they will follow you, even to the extent of moving the finger when you move it in tashahud. You will see them do that next to you. So building the household upon the dhikr of Allah by making some of your adhkar in the house, some of your sunnah in the house. Number 5, strive in your utmost to bring a teaching environment, a learning environment in your household, where you do a weekly dars. And we all fall short in this. But we have to strive by starting with basic books, Usul al-Thalatha. I asked Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi al-Madkhali, I want to start this class in the house. How should I do it? Which book should I start off with? Should I start with the Riyadh al-Salihin, or should I start with, because we want to build the akhlaq, the manners in the household. What book should I start with? He said, start with Usul al-Thalatha. Because in Usul al-Thalatha there is akhlaq. Allahu Akbar. And in Kitab al-Tawheed there is akhlaq. Look, you know why? Because akhlaq starts with what? Ikhlas, sincerity to Allah. The akhlaq between you and Allah, not like some there's a graduate from graduated in America now. He said, these books, they won't rectify the community, the problems of the community. What will then? If Tawheed is not going to rectify, what will, ya rajul? What will? If Tawheed doesn't rectify, what will? That means you don't know the da'wah of the prophets and messengers. Tawheed is what rectifies. If you teach your children to be honest, that Allah is watching them all the time, that He knows what they are doing, in the corner of the house, they will not be able to hide from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Isn't this teaching them akhlaq? Aqeedah comes first. If you only knew. But this shows you, those who don't sit with the ulama, they just get the piece of paper. They graduate, they get the piece of paper. It doesn't benefit them. And Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi al-Madkhali said, even if they end up teaching inside the Kaaba, if they don't know Tawheed, it will not benefit them. Even if they're teaching inside the Kaaba. And look at this great blessing. You strive and you get to Jannah, inshallah. Allah will raise your children if they fell short, to raise them to the level you are in paradise. Look how great that is. وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّبَعَتْهُمْ ذُرِّيَّتُهُمْ بِإِيمَانٍ أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ ذُرِّيَّتَهُمْ وَمَا أَلَتْنَاهُمْ مِنْ عَمَلِهِمْ مِنْ شَيْءٍ كُلُّ أَمْرٍ بِمَا كَسَبَ رَهِينٌ. Those who believe, their families will follow them upon iman. So those who are upon iman, they will follow them. أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ. Allah says, أَلْحَقْنَا بِهِمْ. He will make them rise, go to that level that you are at. If you are pious and you are righteous, and Shaykh Ibn Uthaymeen said about this, he said that if you are higher than them in Jannah, He will make them go up to that level that you are at. Because you are righteous. Because you, as a father, as a mother, you strive your utmost to educate them, to teach them, to show them the importance of the dhikr of Allah, the importance of al-Islam in its practical sense. So Allah will raise those children who fell short, and maybe they were in the lowest heaven, or maybe you will be able to intercede for them, maybe they entered the hellfire, Allah forbid. you'll be able to aid them, inshaAllah, because you yourself strove your utmost. So therefore, there's no turning back for us. No turning back. The more you learn, there's more on your neck. And the more you are responsible, Shaitan will come to you at the beginning. Don't learn. If you don't know, you're not responsible. So don't strive to know. You see, that's the beginning. He does that to everyone. Don't think it's just you or me. Every single one. Shaitan doesn't want you to learn, because he knows those who learn and strive, learn knowledge, it will aid them to protect themselves from him. So he doesn't want you to learn. But once you have learned and you know the seriousness of this affair, there's no turning back. Otherwise, hypocrisy. Nasallahu salama. Hypocrisy. Nifaq. You know and you don't do. That's the way of the Jews. They knew and they didn't practice. غَيْرِ الْمَغْضُوبِ عَلَيْهِمْ. And they're the ones Allah was angry with, because they were given the scriptures and they didn't practice that which they were given. Number 6, ad-du'a. How powerful the dua is. How about if you read Surah Al-Furqan, وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Our Lord, make our children, our wives and children, when we look at them, the coolness of our eyes. Make them, when we look at them, the coolness of our eyes. The scholars mention, when will they be the coolness of your eyes? When they turn to Allah Azza wa Jal. When they are upholding the Salah and they are upholding the Quran. How beautiful it is your children to memorize Quran. And to put on you as the father or the mother a crown on Yawm al-Qiyamah. Because you aided them to memorize the Quran. How beautiful that is. How beautiful it is, you aided them to learn the Arabic language so they can know the deen of Allah. How beautiful it is that you raise the importance of knowledge in the household. The knowledge of the deen of Allah in the household, which will help them, inshaAllah, for their life when you pass away. So therefore, Allah, if we give concern to ourselves in our deen, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect our children in the akhirah and the dunya. The dunya, well, Allah Azza wa Jal said, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا فَأَرَادَ أَن يَسْتَخْرِجَ كَنْزَهُمَا رَحْمَةً مِّن رَبِّهِ وَمَا فَعَلْتُهُ عَنْ أَمْرِي. Because you were righteous. And that story in Surah Al-Kahf, the man was righteous and the orphan's treasure was protected. When the wall was about to fall, and Khidr alayhi salam, he fixed the wall. Yes, Khidr alayhi salam, because the strongest position, he was a prophet. No, the Sufis say, oh, he was a wali of Allah, not a prophet, and the awliya are better than the prophets. The prophets are the awliya of Allah, ya rajul. How could they not be the awliya of Allah when they are people of Tawheed? So don't be deluded. Khidr was a Nabi. As Shaykh Muhammad al-Banna rahimahullah mentioned, even though there's difference of opinion in the matter, but the point is, look, Khidr alayhi salam, he aided that wall to be put, so that he put back the wall so that the treasure or the inheritance of those orphans can be protected. Why? وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. Because their father was good. Their father was righteous. And Shaykh bin Baz rahimahullah said, because of that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protected their children. You want your children to be protected? Kun salihan, be righteous. Number 7, make an Islamic library in your house, where the children realize these are books that we can go back to and read. People buy lots of nursery rhymes, books, fairy tales and this. Bring stories of Sahaba, radiyallahu anhum, stories of prophets. Reminders in the household of the best people ever to be. Maktaba. Number 8, da'wah or da'wah to salihin wal akhyar. Calling the righteous to your house to eat. so that your wife can mix with good sisters. And your children can mix with good children. They have good community, because sometimes it doesn't work from you. You tell them so many times, but when their friends tell them, they do it. That's how children are. Especially when they get to about 15. They love friends when they get to 15. So you be a friend to them. You be a friend to them. Discipline, no doubt, starts early. Teach them at 7, hit them at 10. Not beat them. Black and blue. This is not the way of Islam. Harming your children like that is amana. This is a trust that Allah has placed on your neck. Calling them the righteous to eat at your household, so that they can, inshallah, benefit the children. And the Prophet, and here there's a hadith where the Prophet said, "Ar-rajul ala dini khalilih, falyandur ahadukum man yukhallil or yukhalil." Here, a hadith in Tirmidhi, which is hasanun, which is a hadithun hasan. Naam, wal hakim sahhahah. And there's so many reports of that narration. It's an authentic narration. In another wording, al-mar'u ala dini khalilih. The person is upon the religion of his friend. So let him look to whom he takes as a friend. Choosing the right, especially at that age, teenage years. Giving your child at 15, at 14, friends, good friends, that they can help them to be righteous. Away from the evil things that you see nowadays. Children spreading bad things on the net to each other, so they can look at bad things. Be careful. Make sure your household is a household where the computers, if you have computers or these tablets, make sure there are passwords and they are protected away from the haram. Yes, you are responsible. Not mashallah, you are in the masjid and your children doing haram in the household. Protection for your children. You both have to work hard. The father and the mother have to work so hard. The children is amana. The Prophet ﷺ said regarding the children, he said, guard or be just between the children. اعدلوا بين أولادكم. Being just to them is by bringing them that which will aid them in their deen. In their deen. So aiding them and being truthful to them in helping them to keep away from the haram is being just to them. Number 9, عدم إظهارك للخلافات العائلية أمام أولادك. You may differ with your wife, but don't show that in front of your children. Why? Because they end up disrespecting the other party. If you disrespect your wife, or she disrespects you in front of the kids, in front of the children, they will disrespect you and her. So don't do that in front of them. If you have to have a discussion, do it in alone, away from the children. The children pick up so many things. They are memorizing what you are doing. Every step you take, they will look at what you are doing. And they will mimic that and copy that. Number 10, concerning yourself with the tarbiyah, with cultivating the children and keeping them away from mixing with the evil children by choosing them good schools. Schools that they would benefit, following them up. Wallahi, we've seen many children not being followed up. We used to go around the schools of Medina as a mushrif, as a supervisor, going around to check our trainee teachers, just to see how they fare in these schools. When we look at these kids, some of them from broken homes, hardly any parents coming to check up on their children, busy, leaving their, and the best kids are the kids where the parents follow up their children in the schools, following up not just in their studies, but also in their manners. The best kids. We asked the headmaster and many headmasters in these schools, how did the children, what are the main problems? And he said, this is one of the main problems. Parents not following up, children not being disciplined in their homes before they come to the schools. Number 11, as-samaha fi at-ta'amul. Forgiveness. Not everything you have to fight about and argue about. Every small, little, minute detail we have to argue about. No. Forgive. And usually, and sisters may be upset about this, but this is usually the case, that women remember a lot, more than men. They will tell you something that happened 10, 15 years ago. Men forget. This is, I don't know if this is the nature of men and nature of women, but it's something that seems to be quite common. They will remember something 15 years ago, something that you already solved. And it's already khalas, already made up and it's all gone. And but that still comes up. No. Don't do that. Samaha. You be forgiving, and you be overlooking. Allah will be like that with you. As Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah mentioned in Wabil al-Sayyib, how you are is how you will be treated. Kama tudeen tudan. As you treat others, you will be treated. And what the English say, what goes round comes round. But the Rasul ﷺ already preceded them, and he said, how you treat others, you will be treated. Kama tudeen tudan. So if you're merciful and kind and gentle, Allah will be kind and merciful and gentle with you. And if you are ja'dari, ghalid, faddan ghalid al-qalb, lam faddu min hawlik. If you're harsh, stern, the people will leave you. And if you are miserable, stern, harsh, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala likewise will deal with you in similar fashion. So don't we want mercy of Allah? As you treat others, you will be treated. So show mercy, show forgiveness, and as-samaha, overlooking. Not everything. Overlooking. And this is, wallahi, for all of us. This advice that I'm mentioning here is for me first and foremost. And this is not me telling you, this is me telling myself. As a reminder, because we all want to get to Jannah. Kun husnul khuluq. Number 12. Have good manners. مع أهلك, with your family. فإن خيار الناس أحسنهم أخلاقا. For the best of the people are the best of them in manners. And the Messenger ﷺ said that إن من أكمل المؤمنين إيمانا أحسنهم خلقا وألطفهم بأهله. The best of those believers, the most complete of the believers in Iman, are those who are best in manners and those who are most kind to their families. Hadith in Tirmidhi, which is Hasan. Being kind by giving, by good speech. Nobody's perfect, but if you made a mistake, take it back straight away. Don't let it prolong. Why be arrogant? Why raise your head as if you are towering above your wife? Man anta ya rajul. Who are you? You're just a clot of blood, and before that a sperm that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created said kun fayakun. Why are you then? Where did you come from? Looking down at others, thinking that you are man. To beat your wife, you're a man. You're not a man, you're male. You're a male. You're not a man. As Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi said, a man doesn't do that. A man, a rajul, is one who's kind to his family, who's gentle, is merciful. He shows kindness. The Rasul ﷺ, in times, even in his household, if a utensil was broken, he would just pick it up and just not say anything. Mercy, love, and the women as well. Not to raise their voices, showing that they are the one who showing nushuz, disobedience, as well. Putting oil on fire. It's already fire. Putting oil in it. Extinguish the fire with water. If you're angry, say A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Sit down. If you're still angry, lie down. Take the hadith of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Shaykh Ubayd Hafidullah, he said that if the situation is fire in the house, leave the situation, because now shaitan is there. Leave the situation. Leave the house. The man, walk out for 10, 20 minutes. By the time you come back, mashallah, all forgotten. Or at least, it's better situation. Because you left that situation where shaitan was there between you two. إنما يريد الشيطان أن يوقع بينكم العداوة والبغضاء. Shaitan wants to cause enmity and hatred between you. That's his concern. Number 13. مناصحة الأهل عند التقصير. Advising the family, the wife, and the wife advising the husband, but not in front of others. We all fall short. No man is perfect, no woman is perfect. We're not Sahaba. The Sahaba, we're not saying they're perfect, but Sahaba are better than us. So therefore, we strive to be like them. And we strive to be patient with each other, sabr. Helping each other by advising each other. Ad-dinu nasiha, ad-dinu nasiha, ad-dinu nasiha. قُلْنَا لِمَنْ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ قَالَ لِلَّهِ. Advise each other to be sincere. Forgive me, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Is that big? Too difficult? It's not hard, Ya Abdullah. It's easy. It's easy. And the real man and the real woman is the one who has, I won't call it guts, but the one who has bravery to speak the truth. And the one who has bravery to give up their rights and to give up their rights and also not to ask for all of, to give up the rights that the others have on them, and also not to ask for the rights that they have upon others. They are forgiving. They want to have the upper hand. They are the ones who, as Allah says, idfa' billati hiya ahsan. Push forward with one that is better. Be the better person. The best of them is those who start with the salam. So start with that. Advising each other. This is the way of the prophets and messengers. They would advise each other. They would advise their people. Number 14. Ihdar min al-bukhl. One of the main problems we have in marriages is miserly husbands. They don't want to spend. Sallallahu salama. Miserly fathers don't want to spend on their children. Ihdar min al-bukhl. Be warned of being tight-fisted. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَنفَقُوا لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا وَلَمْ يَقْتُرُوا وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا. When they give, they are not tight-fisted, nor they extravagant, but rather they are in the middle, balanced. So buying for them that which they need, of food, of shelter, of that which you eat, of that which you would want for yourself. حب لنفسك حب لأخيك ما تحب لنفسك. Love for your brother what we love for yourself. Hadith Anas bin Malik radiallahu anhu. Number 15. Another problem that occurs is insulting and name calling amongst the spouses. This is common, and this, I don't know anyone who is not free. I don't know anyone who's free from this. This is something that could occur, but that comes by training. You can improve that by training your tongue to not insult. By first and foremost, making sure that your children don't learn these words. By you not creating those words in your household. If they didn't pick up in school, they're going to pick up in their house. So in the household shouldn't be a household of shatm and sab, of insults, of bad speech. The Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was described. Lam yakun Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Lam yakun Rasul Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam shattaman aw ta'anan, walakin kana yaqul khayrukum 'inda Allahi ahsanakum akhlaqa. The Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was never a person who used to insult, but he used to say, the best of you in the sight of Allah are those who are good in manners. Those who are best in manners. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rectify our tongues. And be of those who are good with their tongues, to their wives, to their children, so that they don't pick up these bad words. And especially not to insult them in front of their families or your family. To put them down, to belittle them. Because كَفَى بِالْمَرْءِ إِثْمًا أَنْ يَحْقِرَ أَخَاهُ الْمُسْلِمِ. It is enough sin for a person is that when he belittles his Muslim brother, he belittles them in front of others. Sin. And this is like you have put a wound on your family members, on your wife or your children, in front of others. If anything is wrong, alone, advise, and it has more effect. Number 16. Just as you want your wife to be good with your parents and your family, you also should be good to her family and parents, in particular the parents, buying them gifts, saying good words to them, calling them regularly. Yes, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا, and with the parents one should show ihsan, and ihsan is all good. وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. Allah mentioned that after He mentioned the severity of shirk and the importance of tawheed, He mentioned about the parents, showing you the great level that the parents hold in the sight of Allah. Being righteous to her parents, and she be righteous to your parents. That's a beautiful household, a happy home, because she will love you more if you're good with her parents. And you will love her more when she's good with her. And never, ever put your wife in front of your mother. Preferring your wife over your mother, especially your mother knowing. Yes, give your wife her rights and give the mother her rights. But the mother takes precedence in terms of her fadl, her virtue. How can it be so when the Messenger ﷺ said, in hadith when Abu Hurairah radiallahu anhu said, من أولى الناس بصحبتك يا رسول الله قال أمك قال ثم من قال أمك قال ثم من قال أمك قال ثم من قال ثم أبوك. Your mother, your mother, your mother has more right to your companionship than anyone else in this world, than your father. But we find, unfortunately, those who give preference to their wives over the... Of course, if your wife is right on a particular matter, yes, don't show... Then show her that, yes, you are right, but just be patient. The mother, they're old. They sometimes get it wrong because of, they're over-caring and so on. Be patient. I know she said this and it was wrong. So aiding your wife to understand these affairs. And likewise, the opposite. Number 17. Beautifying yourself for your wife. And the wife beautifying herself for the husband. Subhanallah. It's true. How is it you come home? The Prophet ﷺ used to come home. The first thing he would do is use his miswak. The first thing he will do. You come home, you're sweaty, smelly. You're coming home and you wonder why she's on the other side of the house. It's true. And sisters as well. And the brother has gone out all day. Nasallahu salama. Especially in London. All day. In the fitnatun nisa. Awwalu fitnati bani Israel. Fitnatun nisa. The Messenger said the first fitna of the Bani Israel is the fitna of women. All day. He is striving his utmost. He looks down. Sallallahu salama, they're not wearing anything on their legs. Wherever he looks is always fitna. And then he comes home and you, sallallahu salama, as a wife, all over the place. Not caring the way you look. Not, maybe the food smell is still on you. The scholars speak out against this. Try your best. You strive, and she should strive. The wife and the husband together. And also we have a statement. There's a statement from Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma. Inni la'atajammalu laha kama arghabu an tatajammal li. He radiallahu anhuma said, I beautify myself for my wife just like I desire that she beautifies herself for me. Why? Because you are protecting each other away from the haram. You are protecting each other away from that which Allah is angry with by protecting each other's chastity. Number 18. Know the level of what your wife has gone through. And the wife to know the level of what her husband has gone through. In striving, in going out to earn a living, striving to get a job, going out early in the morning, just like the bird that goes out, relying upon Allah, as in the hadith of Umar al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu, لو أنكم تتوكلون على الله حق توكله لرزقكم كما يرزق الطير. Know what your wife has gone through, and and the women to know what their husbands have gone through. The wife who strives to cultivate the children, who gave birth, at 9 months she carried the child, hardship upon hardship. So know each other's strengths, know each other's efforts, and recognize that and be grateful to that. وَلَئِن شَكَرْتُمْ لَأَزِدَنَّكُمْ. And if you are grateful, Allah will give you more of goodness. وَلَئِن كَفَرْتُمْ إِنَّ عَذَابِي لَشَدِيدٌ. And if you are ungrateful, then my punishment is severe. So being grateful to Allah has given you a spouse that aids you to worship Allah. And the Messenger ﷺ, he said, وَالْمُقْسِطُونَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ عَلَى مَنَابِرْ مِن نُّورٍ عَلى يَمِينِ الرَّحْمَنِ. The muqsitun, those who are muqsitun, who are balanced with their families, they will be on pulpits of light on the Day of Judgment, on the right of Ar-Rahman, the right side of Ar-Rahman, or the right of Ar-Rahman. And here, kilta yadayhi, kilta ala yamin Ar-Rahman, so on the right hand of Ar-Rahman, wa kilta yadayhi yamin, and both of his hands are right. الَّذِينَ يَعْدِلُونَ فِي حُكْمِهِمْ وَأَهْلِيهِمْ. Those who are just in their judgments, and they are just with their families. Subhanallah. They will be on the right hand of Ar-Rahman on the Day of Judgment. Min manabir, they will be in pulpits of light on the right hand of Ar-Rahman, as the hadith said in Sahih Muslim, hadith of Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. وقال صلى الله عليه وسلم لا يفرق مؤمن مؤمنة إن كره منها خلقا رضي منها آخر. رواه Muslim. Do not let a believer to harm a female believer, yani his wife or his daughter, if he dislikes something in her, in terms of her character, he should look at some other character that he likes in her. So do not insult her, do not harm her, do not beat her because of that character that you dislike, but rather educate her and help her to learn. So that is number 18. We said 20. Number 18 is to recognize each other's efforts, and also to be grateful to that by being just towards them. Number 19, to respect your own parents. You want a happy life? You want a happy life? Respect your mother and your father, your own immediate parents. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you with a good wife and a happy life. Starts first of all with Tawheed, Al-Ikhlas, Tawheed. But after that, وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. How is it? You are upon Sunnah and you can't can't visit even your parents, and they live just a few doors away, or they're just down the road, and you can't call them. Wallahi, we have stories, shocking stories. Questions used to be asked to Shaykh Ubaid, Hafidhullah, about these particular situations where the person would not be righteous to his parents. Wallahi, the end result for many of these is a miserable life and a miserable death. Don't be miserable. To the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given you, to aid you, to clothe you, to feed you, to help you crawl and talk and walk. And then you be hard on them. And then you be, and you put your wife in front of them. So number 18 or 19? 19, your parents, especially your mother. A door from the doors of paradise, inshallah. And number 20, look at the examples of the best people who are around you. And those that we have seen are the ulama. We used to see Sheikh Ubaid al-Jabri, hafidullah, every morning going out. And I can see when he gets the groceries, the bags, the marks of the bags on his fingers from the heavy bags. He refused to let me carry the bags for him. And he's blind. But still, every morning he would love to serve his family. It's like an enjoyment. It's not a burden. It's not a difficulty. It's not a hardship. But he loved to do that for his family. Sheikh Muhammad al-Banna rahimahullah, every week gathering with his family members, every Wednesday night, and used to call myself and my family to attend. That was 18 years ago, the good old days. Rahimahullah. And he used to make sure that you are fed. He would get up himself, treating the guests. And that's another good khair. Being good. And welcoming guests to your home. You want a happy home? Welcome guests. Feed them. Don't be miserable and tight-fisted. How many in this community now, community in Slough, Markaz Muaadh, how many of us have visited each other's homes? Very few maybe. Sheikh Muhammad al-Banna rahimahullah, every Wednesday open his house. And on Thursdays, absolute strangers from the haram invited him to his house to break iftar. Even though they were not fasting, he would break his iftar and he would be standing up serving every single one, putting the chicken and the meat and the... And one surprising thing, he would still be drinking Coke. I said, Sheikh, in your 90s, you're still drinking Coke. We were told, he said, alhamdulillah, if you fast regularly, your body will take care of you. Your body will take care of you. You can eat anything. If you fast regularly. He used to fast Mondays and Thursdays. And his body will take care of him. Even though he was drinking Coke in his 90s. We drink Coke, subhanAllah, we died next day on the ground. Unhealthy. SubhanAllah. So look at the kindness that he used to show with his family. I said, Ya Shaykh, why don't you eat with us? He says, I promised my wife to eat with her. He would wait from Maghrib. No, actually, Maghrib to Isha in the Haram, reading Quran. He would just be breaking his dates with, breaking his iftar with dates and strawberry milk tea. Don't ask me why strawberry milk tea. That's his speciality the Shaykh used to have. And then after Isha, go to his house. And he wouldn't eat. He would wait until he served us, not just the main meal, but also the fruit. And then we go. This is an hour later now. And then he would eat with his wife. Who would do that? Who would do that? Sometimes you go to some houses, they say the tea bags are in the cupboard. What happened to serving your guests? Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyukrim dayfah. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day, then let him be good to his guests. You want khair for your house? Make your house an opening of good. Let your children see generosity, kindness. If they see this, that you are kind to your guests, inshallah you are teaching them through actions how to be kind. And we've seen this with the ulama. Sheikh Abdulaziz bin Baz, rahimahullah, every Thursday, large multitudes of people would come to ask questions and listen to his advice on Thursday morning. And then they would have lunch with him in his own house. Yani, that which was provided by the hukuma. And likewise, other than them from the great scholars. Sheikh Muhammad bin Hadi al-Madkhali, in a dars. He was given a dars. Imagine now, in a dars and he stopped. All of a sudden he stopped his dars. We thought, why has he stopped his dars? Because he saw his son right at the end waiting. He promised to give his son some money to buy some sweets or something from the shop. He said, forgive me, ikhwah. He called his son. He said, Wallahi, I promised him and I forgot. I just remembered when I saw him and he hasn't forgotten. He didn't forget. You know, children don't forget. I was just going out the other day from the house. Told my daughter, I'm going to take you to Tesco. 5 years old. Take her to Tesco. She's waiting the whole day. But something came up and I had to leave. Just before I'm leaving, didn't you say you're taking me to Tesco, Daddy? When are you going to do it then? You see, they don't forget. Children, as young as 5. So don't promise them something and you don't do it. Don't promise them something and you don't do it. Sheikh Muhammad stopped the dars. Called his son. And then afterwards he said, Ya Abdullah, Ya Ikhwa, these children is amana upon our necks. We teach them truthfulness and honesty so that they grow up learning this. Learning to be honest. And this is what we found with the rest of the ulama that we have seen. So number 20, take the righteous as your example. And the best one is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And how he used to be in his household, gentle and kind and loving and caring. Na'am. And that's how we should be. There's no perfect house, no perfect home, but we should strive our utmost. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم.